Alors, bonsoir tout le monde.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Standing Committee on Strategies and Public Policies. So, a reminder to all, this is a meeting where no decisions are made, but where people make presentations from people from the public, staff, on different topics or for some information to basically talk to council about certain aspects. And tonight it's mainly agencies or corporations that we deal with and that we support financially to make sure that members of council have information, because sometimes citizens ask questions on the monies that are given in grants to different associations. So basically, that is what we'll be focusing on tonight. And the first group is Dieppe Boys and Girls Club. So without further ado, I'll ask Madame Paula Albers to come forward and to make her presentation.
Be better. Here we go.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Paula Albers et je suis le...
Hi, I am Paula Albert, and I'm the director of Dieppe Boys and Girls Club. I will be talking to you in English. I only speak a little bit of French, but I'm learning.
Thank you. So I'm very pleased to be here tonight. I thank you so much for inviting us to come and speak with you. I started with the Boys and Girls Club in Dieppe 4 months ago, and I was pleasantly surprised when I walked into the building and saw the size and the facilities that we have. And then I learned that they were provided by the Ville de Dieppe, and I was very, very surprised. And I've come to learn over the past 4 months that the city has supported us so much over these last 42 years, I believe it is, 44 years that we've been here. And as you know, we're in a community where there's not a lot going on for our children and youth. So that facility provides so much for them. So I'm going to tell you a little bit tonight about the help that you give us, what it allows us to do for the youth and children in our community, and not only in the Lakeburn community, but all over Dieppe, because we also serve all of the communities. So you provided a building, but also a couple of years back, you provided us with a rock wall. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if any of you have had a chance to come and see it, but it's pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing facility. So we're working on partnering with the schools to try and get some of the schools to bring some of their youth in so that they know it's available. All of our members get to use the wall for free. And if there's any city function, like we partner with for any activities going on within the city, and we open it free for the community. And we're also going to run on Saturdays, and hopefully it'll give a chance for some people that don't normally have that opportunity, because I know there is another Rockwell facility in Moncton, but it's quite pricey, and so a lot of our youth and our families wouldn't be able to afford to go to that. So it's really been beneficial to us. So I don't know if any of you know this, but Boys and Girls Clubs is a movement all over Canada. So we're part of a greater organization. And we have a mission that all Boys and Girls Clubs follow, and it's to provide safe, supportive places where children and youth can experience new opportunities, overcome barriers, build positive relationships, and develop confidence and skills for life. And I don't want to brag, but I feel that our organization is very good at doing that. We make sure that we have staff that are focused on the youth and the issues that the youth are facing and the things that they need. Sometimes it's not a great big thing, like sometimes they're not starving, sometimes they just need that little bit of attention. They need someone to tell about their day at school when they've had an awful day at school. But then other time there are issues where we have had students come and specifically request to speak to their favorite staff because they've had an issue, and it's really awesome to know that they have those caring adults that they can come to when they have no one else to talk to. So, and that really helps us fulfill our mission. The safe, supportive place, well, we have a building that is well maintained, and obviously you know that, and it allows us the opportunity to give a variety of programs because we have a gym, because we have so many different rooms, we can offer so many different activities even at the same time, so that we can be running a homework help program, we can be running an activity in the gym, we can be running Flex Your Head, which is a mental health program, and they can all run at the same time because we have that ability with the building that we have. These 5 things are what our values are as a Boys and Girls Club: belonging, respect, encouragement, working together, and speaking out. And in everything we do, we make sure that we look at these 5 as our guidelines. We welcome everyone into a safe, accepting environment based on respecting and belonging. And that's not just the children and the families, it's our staff, it's our community. Everyone is welcome, and we want to make them feel like they belong. Respect, we ensure that everyone, children, youth, families, volunteers, and staff are heard, valued, and treated fairly. And the big one there for me is heard, because sometimes youth and children feel like they're not heard, and their wishes or their needs go unnoticed. So that's a big one for me. Encouragement and support, we encourage and support every child and youth to play, learn, and grow to achieve their dreams. That's one thing we're big on. We believe that any child is capable of achieving their dreams, given the right tools. And so that's, for us, one of our big goals is to provide those tools for them so that later in life they can achieve their dreams and become everything that they hope to be. Working together, we work together with young people, families, volunteers, our community and government, without which we would not be able to offer the programs that we have. And speaking out, we speak out for the children, youth, and families so we can make our world better. And it can be as simple as if the children feel that there's not enough playgrounds in the area, we might look into, finding out if there's any possible way of doing something about that. Just little things to show them that we respect them and that we're there for them and their issues. Now, this one is my favorite. It's our vision. And all children and youth discover and achieve their dreams and grow up to be healthy, successful, and active participants in society. Now, we have a whole program called the Model of Success, which I won't get into tonight because it's too long to explain, but it's what we use to make sure that this happens for every child. Because when we may serve hundreds of children, but to us, each child is an individual. And they don't have the same needs, they don't have the same wants, and they don't have the same dreams. So making sure that every child gets a chance to discover and achieve their dreams is really important. That's what builds our community and our future. Now, what we do. So there's a lot of things on this little list here of what we do. With us at the Dieppe Boys and Girls Club, our programs sometimes change from year to year depending on the need of our youth. So one year we may offer a program when we find that only 4 or 5 kids were interested in taking that program. So we may skip it next year and try something new and then try it again the year after. So there are a lot on there. Some of my favorites are Flex Your Head, which helps with mental health and wellness, and it's a peer-based group, and it's in a relaxed atmosphere, and it's done with fun and games. And then we also have Kids Food Nation, which helps families and kids learn about healthy food choices, how to cook food healthy, even how to grow food. We also do a family supper every month for all of our community. All of our community members are welcome. It's mainly our youth and their families, but it's open to everyone. We do Project Backpack, which is another awesome program that a lot of you are probably familiar with because it's in the school systems. And so we also have that where we send home on the weekends, and in the summer we send home healthy foods so that a child that's going to be away for a couple of days from the source of food has enough food to do them until, and sometimes we'll send home 2 or 3 backpacks if there's a couple of children in the family, just to make sure that everyone in the family is getting that nutrition they need. Giant Tigers, Giant Steps is a homework program. Also, we do tutoring as well. That's another important aspect for these kids because some of them may fall behind, and once they start to fall behind, they become discouraged. And once they become discouraged, their dreams kind of fall to the wayside. So we want them to become excited about learning. So we're going to talk to these kids and we're going to talk about what they're interested in. And instead of sitting down and doing math, 2 + 2 is 4, we're going to find a way to help them learn these things in an exciting and new way for them and hopefully discover what it is that their passion is. Power Up is another one that is about education, about mentoring and tutors. Keystone is actually a leadership program, and it starts with our younger 10 to 12-year-olds, and it's a pre-leadership program, and they learn healthy choices, teamwork, leadership, service to club and community. And then they can go on to join the Torch Club, which is another leadership program that we have. And the Torch Club is a more hands-on. They will, excuse me, they will actually go out into the community, do work. They will do volunteerism. We will do small fundraisers. They can raise money for an event that they would like to have, that type of thing. And then we have Take It Easy, which kind of goes along with Flex Your Head, which is an empowerment and self-esteem program. The main topics for that: self-esteem, gender and body image, sexuality, and violence. And as we know, those topics are very in the forefront these days. So it's something that the kids really need to address. And these are the programs that I was talking about. And like I said, they change from year to year, and we do offer much, much more. I couldn't fit them all in here tonight if I was to tell you everything we do, but I do invite you at any point to come and join us and have a tour, talk to someone at the club. You'd be amazed at what you see going on there at any given time, whether it be 7 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock at night. There's always something going on. So, and you'll see ages 2 to 18. So we're reaching quite a wide base. So we do have some dreams, actually, obviously. Of course, expanding our programs. Right now, our club is at full capacity. We have that huge giant building that is provided for us, and we are full. We cannot fit another program into that building as of right now. We're running 5 nights a week. We run on Saturdays. We're doing special events, sometimes camps, that type of thing. We also, another dream of ours is to have an up-to-date tech room with technology for coding and tutoring and those type of skills, because a lot of the children in our area don't have access to that technology at home. So we're hoping to provide them a place where they can keep up with their peers so they don't fall behind. And then I talked briefly about the programs in our school. We're also looking at introducing some other programs in there as well. We're hoping to maybe get in with a little bit of the Flex Your Head, the mental health and stuff like that. And scholarships programs for teens. Boys and Girls Club of Canada provides us with the opportunity to provide scholarships for our teens, and there's different types of programs and scholarships. So it's not always about academics. So, you know, there's leadership scholarships. There's all kinds of different ones that they have access to. So right now we're operating with 20 staff, which I'm quite proud of. We have grown quite a bit. We have on and off 50 volunteers, and that varies depending on what we're doing and like the activities we're doing. We service over 1,500 children and youth, and that would include special events and that type of thing. On a regular basis through the week, we're serving hundreds. So we're very proud of that. During the normal year, we serve 11,424 healthy meals and snacks. So we're proud of that as well, because we all know of the food issues that a lot of people are facing. And the biggest thing is that we're focused on helping each individual child reach their full potential and discover and achieve their dreams, which I said, my vision, I wanted to get it in there one more time because it's just my favorite. And great future starts here, and that's our main focus, I guess. It's all about giving these children the right start and giving them the tools that they need to be able to become productive, happy, successful, active members of our community.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mrs. Albers. Any questions from members of council? Madame Arsenault.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire. Mrs. Alders, I think you're doing a wonderful job from everything you're saying, especially after only being on the job for 4 months. With 20 staff and 50 volunteers, you seem to be doing so much. You say in our community there's a lot going on for youth, and yes, you need to be proud and brag for what you do, because your mission statement is really good for everyone. So I really think you're doing good there. So yes, you definitely need to brag about it. And as you know, we, adults and kids, we all learn well when it's fun. So when you make everything fun, it's really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and your rock wall is beautiful. I've seen it, and it is very nice. There's one question, your tech room for technology training and tutoring with full-time educators. How would you go about doing that with full-time educators?
We have staff that we could move around. Because our programs run at different hours and at different times, we can move staff around, and we also have grants from Boys and Girls Club of Canada to provide the staff, but right now we're looking at finding grants to provide the technology, the computers, and the programs that we need. We also have a room that we can renovate to make that a tech room, or if we have laptops, we can pretty much make any room a tech room. So so that's our challenge right now. We do have the staff, and we have volunteers as well that are willing to come in and help from the community. And but yeah, the biggest challenge right now is just to source the funding for the computers.
Sounds very good. I'm quite impressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merci, Monsieur Thibodeau.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire. I know that you have many programs in there, and I know that you have francophones and anglophones attending your center. Do you have those programs in bilingual format, or are they English and French separate?
We do kind of both. We offer bilingual. Everything is bilingual. We do, some activities are done in French if the kids are mostly all French. Some are done in English. We go by the needs of the children that are in the program at the time, or the parent that we're speaking to, and I have quite a few French staff, so they've been helping me a lot to kind of integrate into the French. But yes, to answer your question, we do have bilingual, and we do have not a lot of separate French and English unless somebody requests the tutoring in a certain language or that type of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Merci, M. Thibodeau. Any other questions from council?
Y a-t-il d'autres questions?
Well, I as well want to congratulate you for the work. I'm somewhat familiar with the work of the Boys and Girls Club program, and it's certainly a great national organization. I've had the privilege of being the president of the Dieppe Boys and Girls Club for a few years.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it's good to see that the building is in good hands. I know it's in pretty good condition generally for a building of that age.
Yes, absolutely.
But it certainly serves the community at large. What efforts are made to, because I know one of the challenges has always been to spread the programs from the Lakeburn area out to the rest of the community and vice versa.
And that's one of my mandates when I come on is to start expanding. So one of my goals is to get into the school systems so that I have several Francophone staff that are going to go in and we'll go into Lou McNairan as well. And try and get some programs going with them. Also to reach out to the other organizations that are in our area. And I'm starting now to go out and network and try to find other places, other areas where we can offer one-night programs where we go in and we do an activity with them so that they become familiar. And then hopefully, we're looking at, we have 2 buses right now and they're not in great shape, but we're looking at replacing them. And what we would like to start is a pickup all throughout Dieppe where we set times and the youth can meet at a certain spot, and we will pick them up and we'll bring them back when the program is over. So we're hoping to have that up and running within the next year or so.
Okay. I know that with recent changes at the Moncton Boys and Girls Club, one of the challenges that they have, or challenges on one hand, but I think also a opportunity is with the amount of immigrant children.
Absolutely.
So are you living through the same situation?
I would say at least a third of our children are recent immigrants. It's awesome. It worked out really well for us because the children welcome them right in and everyone's excited to learn new things. And even with our cooking programs and stuff, they'll teach us the types of foods that they eat. And it's really cool. They've taught our kids games that they would play after school and things that we wouldn't do around here. So it's been a very positive experience for us.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Does my questions raise any questions from council? No? So thank you very much for coming out to see us tonight and continue with the good work.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And the offer stands, you're welcome anytime to come and visit.
Thank you.
So next presentation from the University of Moncton. If the university people are not here, then we'll go to the Atlantic Cancer Research Institute. Okay, so they're outside of the hall. It's always nice to see a collaboration between the University of Moncton and the Cancer Research Institute. Mr. Couturier, welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for welcoming us. We are University of Moncton, so it's a privilege for me, especially that I am a citizen of Dieppe, so it's a double privilege. So tonight I want to talk to you briefly of the campaign Évolution of the University of Moncton, and more specifically to give you a report as to how the amounts from the city of Dieppe have been used from this campaign. So first of all, and it's a good news for the University of Moncton, and I think it's a good thing for everyone in Acadie. The funding campaign from the University of Moncton is going well. I'm reminding you that our initial objective was $50 million. Right now we are standing at $40 million on this $50 million objective. In the next couple of months, we want to really get to work to reach our 50 million objective by June next. Our date is the 19th of June. That's the holiday or the anniversary creation in 1963. So we would like to reach that objective in June of 2020. In a couple of words, the presence of the city of Dieppe at the University of Moncton, different ways. First of all, by the graduates of the university who are here, who are citizens of the city of Dieppe. Total is 3,700 graduates of the university who live in Dieppe. There's also quite a few of our employees who live in Dieppe, 225 actually, according to our last data. Actually now, for the beginning of school, September 2019, there's almost 500 students of Dieppe who have been registered at the University of Moncton full-time, and a certain amount also part-time. I'm also giving you information, and something that will be announced soon. The registrations are going up in the demographic current demographic context. There's a slight increase. It means it's a very good news for the University of Moncton. Donations, grants. The city was very generous to the University of Moncton. So a first grant in the impact campaign, then there's a second grant in the excellence campaign, and then now a third grant for the evolution campaign. That means that the city of Dieppe is a very important grant giver in the history of the University of Moncton. In a couple of words, how have these grants been shared? For impact, there were two funds that were targeted for electric and the Fernand Arsenault Fund, Excellence, $500,000. What had been prioritized had been the Acadian Studies, the Center of Acadian Studies, also the Acadian Studies Chair, and the creation of a fund, $350,000. In the Evolution campaign, finally, a grant of $500,000. Once again, prioritized for Acadian Studies, and I should really thank you because, as you know, it's a very distinctive element of the University of Moncton. It's an aspect that is a question of knowledge for the Acadian society. So for us, it's very important to have this support, to have Acadian Studies grow, basically. Then there's a grant for the city of Dieppe, $50,000, and another fund for the athletes, so Aigle Bleu, men and women, $250,000. The market value of the city of Grant of Dieppe is $550,000. This is just the revenue of this grant that is being used to give grants that I talked about, bursaries that I talked about earlier. There are 7 students who received bursaries for a total of $14,000 during 1 year. The bursaries for the Aigle Bleu, this has a market value of $105,000. The first bursaries haven't been given out yet. We had to wait for the amounts build up, if we can say that, in order to be able to have the revenue to be able to give these bursaries. I'll finish off by talking about the campaign Evolution. there were different targets, different projects, but ultimately, when we add everything together that we want to accomplish, there are two important themes. First of all, it's the student experience. At the University of Moncton, the priority is really immediately to giving value to the student experience. It's something that's very characteristic for us and that distinguishes us, and we need even more support to make sure that this experience of the student is good. The student chooses us. Today, they have the choice. They can choose us or not. So the student who chooses us feels that we're going to be with him along his stay. He's not here only to take classes, but he will be able to do more because we'll be supporting him in different ways. We're looking for success. We're mentoring, tutoring. We're going to support him with giving financing so that he can participate in activities in engineering, robotics. They need our support. And this is good for the learning in school. So these are very important things for us. The second aspect is research and innovation. So we like to have activities that are good, that are linked for Acadian studies. It's something that's very important for University of Moncton in the research. It's important for the university. For us, the following steps, or the next steps, are very clear. We want to finish our funding campaign, which means that we want to reach our objective, but it also means more than reaching the financial. So we want to take this opportunity to continue our conversation with our graduates, with the friends of the University of Moncton. So in the next couple of weeks and months, you will see different initiatives to reinforce this communication. So we want to measure the success of the Evolution campaign, not only just reaching the 50 million, but at the same time, in the question of the rapprochement with our friends of the university, very important for us. And we want ultimately to better position the university to meet the challenges of the next couple of years. So that's basically the essence of our Evolution campaign. So I'll finish off with that by saying once again, thank you very much for your contribution of the city of Dieppe. It's played a very important part in the campaign, and we know that the city of Dieppe is going to be contributing to the evolution of the university. If you have questions, obviously we're ready to answer them. Yes, I hope that there will be questions. And as a matter of fact, one of the reasons for inviting you here tonight is to be here so that the councillors, so that you can tell us where the different monies went in this campaign. And it's the same thing. So we did the same thing for the Boys and Girls Club, and we'll be doing the same thing with the Cancer Research Institute. And I see that the mics are turning on. Monsieur Alain, yes, a graduate of the University of Moncton. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. It was great. And yes, for us, I see this, the money that we've given to the University of Moncton is an investment, not only in the community, but also in the future. We see a lot with one of our projects here. We're working together with Monsieur Doiron at Imperial. We work at it, automation. It's a solution that it's a question of human resources at the end of the day. So that's it for us. I'm convinced that our money is well used, and I hope that you will reach your 50 million. Thank you very much. Somebody else. Madame Marcelo. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just thank you for the great work, and also congratulations, because it's It's been more than 50 years, 56 years. That's the university is in existence, and we're really proud, and with all our graduates also. So we're very proud of them. Thank you very much. We often say, what would l'Acadie be without the University of Moncton? And I also like to say, what will be the university thanks to the university? So I'll stop there. I think we think the same way. Thank you, Monsieur Godet. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations for the work, or the 40 million. That's not easy. I'd like to know the 3 campuses. How is this campaign structured to meet the needs of the 3 campuses? Because the money that comes from one region stays in the region, or is it distributed generally? The simple answer to the question is that each donor decides where it's going to go. Some are going to prefer one campus, or some will prefer a specific activity or a program, whereas other givers will have a different approach, which is provincial. So businesses or corporations that do business in different regions of the province will tend to want to have an impact in each of the Francophone regions, whereas other organizations that are more linked to a geographic area. So ultimately, of the 40 million, there's a sharing that is different from what we might think to start with when we think of 3 campuses, or maybe the student population, because it really is according to the wishes of each donor. Thank you. No other questions? So I have one. Well, I think maybe it's more like wishful thinking. If we measure the different generations every 10, 15 years, this is basically the 4th generation of students at the University of Moncton, and I really think that we should encourage reinvestment in our university. Sometimes when we think about programs, that the bigger universities, the older universities, have taken this habit for a long time with the students, and I hope that the Alumni Association is going to continue to work very hard to make sure that the university graduates give back to their university, so that the university can continue the excellent work that is being done. And I want, on behalf of Council, to thank you for the excellent work that you do, that you've been doing for quite a few years. We're not going to be happy to lose you when the times come, but this is where we're at. So thank you very much. Happy, really happy. Thank you. Have a good evening. We're ready, Mr. Ouellet, for the Atlantic Cancer Research Institute. Hello, Mr. Mayor, members of Council. Thank you very much for this opportunity to come talk to you about our campaign. I didn't know I was going to come after the university head. I have a couple of audio visuals, but I'll keep them for the end. I want to talk about the funding campaign that ended in March of this year. It was our campaign called, it was a 5-year campaign. The objective, and this was our second, the first one was the campaign that was aimed at getting $5 million in 5 years. It was successful. It was very difficult. There's a lot of competition. It was difficult to get the money from donations. So we thank organizations and municipalities. The city of Dieppe contributed 50,000 to this campaign, which was very good, which was received. So thank you very much on behalf of the Institute. The campaign, different from the university, the objective is not necessarily to make investments, but to make sure that we have leverage. So the 5 million that we've succeeded in getting over the 5 years was used for opportunities for grants to which we've applied. So we can say that the 5 million that we got created almost a 2, almost 3 for 1 as a return on investment. So we're able to obtain grants of operational grants, also for the purchase of equipment, etc. So the projects that we were able to set up with these investments are very varied. They touch on different aspects of medicine to try to find solutions for patients with cancer. So for those who don't know us, the Institute is a non-profit organization. We were created by the hospital, Georges L. Dumont, about 20 years ago. So it's our basically 20th anniversary. The objective is to find solutions for cancer, and we try to contribute to the world effort, the challenge to find treatment for it. So the themes are in different fields. We try to use new technology, but also discoveries on site to try to improve the health of patients. We have a project, for example, that's maybe a little premature, that touches on a technology that was invented a couple of years. That's a liquid biopsy. It's a way of knowing in real time what is going on in the patients with cancer just by having a blood sample. So it's a technology that we've discovered, that we patented, and that we marketed, and that is available now either through other researchers through the world. Actually, there are companies who are trying to implement this tool in the country. Also, we have projects also to try to develop new targeted therapies. We have very strong tools that determine what are the weak points in the cancer. And knowing those weak points, it gives us the opportunity to develop therapeutic strategies. And the last aspect, which is the most recent, developed over the last 5 years, is the use of intelligent use of microwave to eliminate tumors. This technology exists, but it's kind of old-fashioned. So we had the opportunity to recruit an expert researcher in microwave who developed intelligent ways of calculating the necessary energy and the necessary time to be able to destroy these tissues and to maximize the destruction of the tumor. So with these 3 aspects, we have a lot of work to do, and the team at the Institute is comprised of more than 60 people now, people who have postgraduate training, graduates. People come from 5 continents. We recruit worldwide. We're lucky over the years. The technological base and the expertise that we have here in the region gives us the opportunity to attract the best researchers from around the world. Our global budget is approximately $5 million annually, and this is just from government grants or revenue that we can generate internally. With these people, I'm proud to say that of the 65 people, I would guess half live in Dieppe, the other half live in Moncton, maybe 1 or 2 in Riverview, but Dieppe is a place of choice. So during our last campaign, an interesting thing, and it's interesting that the university had talked about it. Where would the Academy be without the university? And we could say, where would the Institute be without the University of Moncton? Because we are basically at the university, and over the years, the partnerships with the university have solidified. I would say that it's solidified in a very beautiful project that you can certainly see if you go to the University Avenue and the new Precision Medicine Center, which is a long project. We've been working at this project since 2007. It is now finished. The partners are there, or they're in the process of going into the building, and it's a little bit like the head of the university said, this is innovation, research. The idea is to make it go farther. 20 years ago, there was no biomedical research in New-Brunswick. Now there is. And we are among the leaders, Canadian-wise and world-wise also. So I think it's important to mention it, to realize that we do very beautiful things here in the region. So basically, that's what I wanted to talk to you about on the campaign, and we appreciate Dieppe's contribution. And we made a little video for the 20th anniversary, but to give you a little foretaste, or people in the region, the type of activity that goes on in the Precision Medicine Center. You're all welcome to visit it, but for those who cannot, at least you'll have an idea of what goes on within the walls. This is about a 120-second video, so we'll play it now.
Every turning point begins with a dream.
Chaque détour commence avec un rêve. Le nôtre, il a commencé il y a 20 ans. Après 4 ans, on a reçu notre premier don. Et en 2006, on est devenu l'Institut de recherche du cancer d'Atlantique. Au cours des années, les organisations nous ont aidés à réaliser notre rêve. En 2008, on a eu notre première campagne en capitaux. En 2010, on a reçu encore plus de l'appui du gouvernement pour réaliser notre rêve. Parce que lorsqu'un rêve est réalisé lorsque tout le monde y croit. Au cours de 20 ans, le centre a rêvé à réaliser un rêve. C'est le premier de notre région. C'est un partenaire au Canada, un catalyseur pour l'économie et une contribution à la collectivité. Et là, on est prêt à aller encore plus loin avec une nouvelle établissement, avec le potentiel pour de nouvelles découvertes et des rêves plus grands. Du moment que vous arrivez, vous savez que là, il va y avoir de belles choses qui vont avoir lieu.
Ça fait près de 10 ans qu'on pense à développer un centre comme celui-là qu'on est dans aujourd'hui. Et ça a été tellement un rêve inatteignable pendant longtemps. Aujourd'hui, et à chaque matin, lorsque j'entre dans l'édifice, il faut presque que je me pince pour me convaincre que c'est enfin vrai.
Chaque aspect de l'établissement se concentre pour passer du laboratoire au patient le plus rapidement et le plus sécuritairement possible. En tant que chercheur, on a besoin de la bonne disposition du laboratoire. On nous aide à collaborer. Lorsque je suis arrivé ici, à la nouvelle installation, je vois que l'on peut s'épanouir, agrandir, parler de nouvelles idées et être très innovateur. On passe de nos idées à la réalisation.
Tout le monde est enthousiaste. C'est un environnement, comme j'ai dit, qui tente de faire baisser les barrières, de permettre la communication. Donc les gens sont vraiment renforcent cette idée-là de travailler en collaboration, en coopération avec leurs pairs.
Le déclencher avec ce nouvel édifice permet de penser qu'on est capable de rêver à qu'est-ce qu'on va faire dans les années à venir parce que le potentiel est au maximum.
Le travail des 60 personnes du centre a le potentiel d'en aider tellement. Alors, s'il vous plaît, participez à notre avenir. On veut rêver encore plus grand, ensemble, avec vous tous et toutes.
Merci.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ouellette. Questions from members of council, comments? Just as I was going to say, we're going to go to something else. No, Madame Le Boutillier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, it's not a question, more recognitions. First of all, well, happy birthday, 20 years is something, and congratulations, because with your leadership, there's a lot of time, a lot of energy, where we've reached it, and we're really proud to have this research institute here that's going to attract a lot of researchers. So congratulations, and have a wonderful future. Madame Arsenault. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Ouellette, congratulations. The $5 million campaign over 5 years was a success. You said earlier that you're taking $5 million a year for the research center. I guess there are many other funds that are coming in. Yes, it's basically our revenue base is varied. There's the philanthropic, approximately $1 million a year. There's also the grants, between 2 and 2.5 million a year. And there's also revenue that we generate, and something that we don't say too often, because it doesn't fit in really well with research institutes that were created. We had an additional responsibility. The hospital asked us to manage the fertility clinic, so it's something that we've been doing for the last 20 years, and we don't count these employees as researchers. They are experts who do incredible work, and the fertility of the fertility is autonomous, so it generates approximately $1 million a year. So we add that to the 5, if you want to. So that's basically our tax or our revenue base. I was also very proud to hear microwave operations, how you can, that's incredible to know exactly how long to take and the strength to put into the cancer. Yeah, we had the opportunity to recruit a researcher, a renowned researcher, the world expert in microwaves. He had decided to retire. He'd already come to the University of Moncton and decided to retire here. And from word of mouth, he found us and he said, okay, listen, I'm a little tired. I have ideas to apply my technology to this problem here. I think he had 19 patents before he came to the institute, and he's already was able to get an extra 3 patents. It was incredible, fantastic. Merveilleux. Thank you very much, Madame Arsenault. Mr. Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Short question. Do you have statistics over the 20 years that the Institute started on the success rates of fighting against the cancer? Yeah, it's a lot. We don't treat the patients, but if I may, over the last 20 years, statistics have been better every year. We say this: cancer is a marathon. It's not a sprint. The survival rates are getting better. We're now at 2 out of 3 patients who will be surviving. So what we've done at the Institute, and I think that in tangible terms, we've brought in technologies in the region which, especially if we consider economic aspects, would have been very difficult for our hospitals to get. It's also a question of expertise. So We think about all the sequencing technologies, the operations. You've seen pictures in the video of different pieces of equipment, and there are just 2 or 3 organizations that have these types of equipment. So we can take a sample from a patient, find what's not working well. We give that information to the oncologist. The oncologist chooses different things, so the patient has a better chance of survival. If we don't have this, it's like we're shooting in the dark. So we've had a role to play to bring this to New-Brunswick. Thank you, Mr. Cormier. Mr. Godet. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Lately, it's out of curiosity, there was an announcement on the other side of the street for an investment of almost 500 million by Fisheries and Oceans for a research center, and during the announcements, there was reference to your institution in the sense that there were aspects of collaboration between the laboratories there, because they're going to have exceptionally modern equipment. So I'm curious to find out from your side, how do you consider this collaboration? Because I figure there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in that center. Yes, you're right. It's an incredible opportunity for the region to have this type of investment, especially that it's going to bring different departments, not just the fisheries, but environment, the Food Inspection Agency, and Parks Canada, I think, who are going to participate. So there's going to be a pool of researchers fairly impressive in the region. It's been 2 or 3 years that we've been involved with the project because the Department of Fisheries and Oceans wants it to be collaborative. They want the partners from the universities and from research centers so they can benefit from these investments with the exchange of expertise and sharing of equipment. For us, it's strategic. We're interested in having this expertise literally just across the street because it could help us to add value to some technological values. We have equipment. We're the only ones to have it in Canada. With 1.3 million, it's a machine. It has to be operating. If it can be used by others, then it's going to be, in the long run, less expensive to work. And it's going to build on the expertise. Something that's fairly interesting when I go discuss with people from oceans, fisheries and oceans, I tell them, I have you and I'm looking at you because there are people who are working in the diagnostic department of research from Fisheries and Oceans. They've all come through our place. So it's kind of a recruitment hall. So I said, I have to tell them, listen, don't recruit too many because we have to have the time to train them. No, but it's great because it's fantastic career opportunities, and if people can go from their university training at the University of Moncton, come to our place, get the training and find good jobs in Fisheries and Oceans across the street, we're really happy. We like to keep them also, but we're happy too. Thank you. Yes, obviously, it's important to keep our brains in the region. Don't export them. Monsieur Thibodeau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Monsieur Ouellet, congratulate you for the work that at the Institute. Regularly, I see in the media certain discoveries that you make at the Institute, and the world recognition that you receive is something that we're very proud of, that you're doing. Very happy also that you were able to get the Precision Medicine Center. It's a tool for you that's going to help you go even farther. So thank you very much for your work. Even if we had successes with grants, we didn't have a capacity to hire people. I mean, it was almost necessary for someone to leave for us to hire, so we were limited by our infrastructures. So when I say that the potential is at its maximum, I think the future looks bright. It's important also to attract experts in the field. Thank Thank you, Mr. Thibodeau. Monsieur Alain. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Godet, thank you for the presentation. It was a question for the campaign. Our agreement with how long was the agreement and how much money a year? It's a 5-year agreement for $10,000 a year, and it's finished. It's ended this year. It's ending this year, so it'll be part of the new budget process if we have a new request. For the time being, we have no requests. We've already given that or set aside that money for another organization. So right now, I just wanted to confirm that and make sure. I think all councillors around the table, the Precision Center is something special for a region. I think we're all fantastic supporters of this. Mr. Godet just said it. Not only should we invest, but we have to keep our people in here. It's something that a priori is going to be supported by everyone. Thank you very much for the presentation. Rodney, really happy to see you here. And with all the details that you've mentioned, I can see that you can see that there is a lot of interest. It's important for the members of council to hear this. We like to see the progress for our region in all meanings. So once again, thank you for your presence here and then your devotion, your engagement for our community. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Have a good evening. So, Monsieur Ouellet was saying it was very difficult to follow Monsieur Pierre-Paul, the couturier, Jacques-Paul Couturier from the university, but Monsieur Nadeau also, it's, you come behind someone that's very important. No problem, Mr. Mayor, no problem. Okay, we need an update on the construction of our Uniplex. Yes. Good evening, members of council. The last update is from the beginning of June. So since the beginning of June, we have not sat on our laurels. There are a lot of things that we've done. You'll be able to see it here tonight. We're talking about 50 workers approximately on the site over the last weeks and months. So many things are moving on site. Things are going well. So since the beginning of June, foundation is finished. The metal structure is finished, 100%. You notice that the roof is completely finished. Couple of little details to finish off, but the external membrane, the white one, that's the most visible from far away, is almost finished. Just the northern part of the complex, or the Uniplex, towards Gould Street, on the back of the building, still remains to be finished. It'll be done within the next couple of weeks. A couple of things to do before we can cover that part. The floor of the first floor is 50% finished. In the next couple of weeks, what we'll be doing is the concrete slab for the ice. That will be the other 50% of the floor, the second floor, the first floor. The floor of the second floor is completely finished, the concrete part. It's been finished for the last couple of weeks. The grandstands are in place. You'll see in the pictures that is starting to look like something. From the inside as well as from the outside. The underground services are in place, and the mechanical aspects of the building are plumbing, electricity, air evacuation, all that. That is well advanced, more so than we could think. Things are going really well. So what is coming up? Doors and the windows in October, so that the outside be ended by end of October. Will be everything will be done. We'll be working everything inside with the climate. Mornings are starting to be cool, evenings also. So we want obviously to be inside as soon as possible to continue the work on the inside. In the next couple of weeks, like I mentioned, the installation of the refrigeration system as such, all the piping for refrigeration will be installed to here once again be able to put the concrete slab over it, so that we'll have both of our ice sheets, and this will be taking place in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, that's the dread stand of the main ice sheet. It's been a week and a half that it's been finished, so it's starting to take shape. We're starting to see the details that we see on the plans, but we see those details on site. This here is the second floor between the two ice sheets. It's not really visible, but it's very big. The ceiling is 25 foot high, and we're talking about 30 feet wide between the two sheets. The public area, there'll be concession stands there, there'll be seats, chairs, basically public area. It's fairly impressive. I can say that when I took the picture, I still had room behind me, so it gives you an idea of the size of it. Here, this is the alternate ice. We see the row of seats, the seating that is going to be set up on the other side. So this is also moving well. Main ice rink, as you can see, both sides are finished. The grandstands should be installed within 2 months, and we will then really see what it will look like. Outside, I mentioned it, the IMP, the external membrane, is almost finished. It's just the backside that is almost done. That's the front part of the unit place. The west side is finished also, as well as the east side, the Rue du Prêche. Maybe it's been a week and a half. Everything is closed up today now. So that's what we've done over the last couple of months. There are many things that have been done also, like I mentioned, on the mechanical side, which takes maybe a little longer, but the structure itself is completely finished. Questions? Questions from members of council. Monsieur Leblanc. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi. Thanks for the presentation. Happy to see things are moving along. The first question is a clarification. Did we find a way, or is there going to be a way to make sure that we capture the heat to reuse it? I don't have any details, but 100% of the heat that is going to be generated is going to be used elsewhere. We're talking about heating in the rooms. That will be 100% reused before sending it outside. Our arenas are, one is from 72 and the other one is from 2002. Obviously, technology has moved forward since then, so they found ways of using everything that is usable as far as energy is concerned before sending it outside. It's very efficient system, refrigeration system that you use to heat the building. That's very good. That's an excellent question, and maybe we should have an expert come to present us the real facts, because that's the type of statistics that could be included in our results concerning reduction of greenhouse gases in our sustainable community plan. So we'll take note of that. Thank you. Monsieur Thibodeau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mine is the tough question. Budget. How are we? Are we? Yes, we're on time and we're within budget. We don't foresee any problems in maintaining our budget. I think I repeat this a couple of times a day. I mean, everybody knows the budgets that we've got working. There are some things that we work out, but when it's within budget. So when would we have the opportunity to visit it? Yes, we are planning a visit soon. That's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Brideau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Jason, for your presentation. I'm always very surprised. I go by there every day, and I see every day things change. The whole front side of the uniplex, the outside the membrane, what we see that is not closed, is that going to be glassed in? Yeah, the whole length of it is going to be glass in. Yeah, you'll start seeing it starting in October. It's all glass. Underneath that, that would be bricklay. It's brick, really brick, around the membrane in the front of the complex. Thank you. I think that's it. No other questions, no. So thank you very much for your presentation, Monsieur Nadeau. And we're looking forward to the visit. An item that was added to our agenda was a presentation by Madame Nadia Danfous to talk to us about the 10th anniversary of the Dieppe Aquatic and Sports Center. Good evening. Good evening, members in council and mayor. So I was invited tonight. I'm very happy. So like we said last week, we opened Saturday with after the repairs. So we'll be celebrating 10th anniversary on the 21st of September. A little update of the operations that have been going on over the last 10 years. I have a little presentation, and then I'll talk to you about the scheduling that we've had organized for that day. Right now, over the last couple of years, we have approximately 50,000 visits annually to our regular programming. That does include the swimming courses. We have right now 84 hours of free programming. See, lengths, public, pool, adults or preschool. When we opened in 2009, we were operating approximately 64 hours of free programming. So as we grow and as the lifeguards increase in number, we are really using properly the aquatic center. We also have approximately 50 lifeguards. We can't have any programming without these expert lifeguards that whom we train at the center. We have partnerships also elsewhere for training. So we see different youths who eventually end up in careers with us. So sometimes during the summer we have fewer operation hours, because we have approximately a dozen, because then they go, some of them will go to other centers outside or at the beach. We have 96 hours of business hours opening. We're there 96 hours a day from Monday to Sunday for citizens. And this is here, we'll talk about our recent accomplishments. The payment office, we mentioned it often. It was presented in 2015 with the addition of water bills, as it was mentioned. Water, sewer, dog permits, transportation, fires, water sale. Then they also go to the and renting of all payments. So people come to rent the Rotary, the sports fields, the arenas. They can come anytime. Staff at the reception have been trained to serve, to answer questions, or to take payments. So since this is January 2015, the reservation office had been changed to there so that it could be offered over the 96 hours a week. The structure that we put place with our coordinator of the aquatic program, Josie Galland, she's been with us since we opened, and she's here to supervise our lifeguards to ensure safety, which is our number one priority. So she's there for all the swimming classes, excellent program, growth increase with her team. There's a new head lifeguards, and they have more responsibility. That had been mentioned, that they were looking for different levels of expertise for different responsibilities for the youth. They wanted that. And that's what Mme. Galland is doing with all these courses. The SWAD, Swimmers with a Disability, it's a program. At the beginning, we had 5 lifeguards doing one-on-one with children who cannot learn in a group environment. Right now, we have approximately 33 clients in that program. We have waiting lists for that, but we've moved forward. It's a very popular program in the region. The swimming classes, when we started, there were approximately 1,600 youth taking classes over the year. Right now, we have approximately 3,300 that go through swimming lessons. Aquaform during the day, great programming. I know I recognize some faces here of people who've used it. Aquaform at 9 in the morning or at 1 in the afternoon, sometimes at 2 also. Approximately 70 seniors who are there, men and women, who benefit from the program to get in shape. There are approximately altogether 100 people who have a card for this program. Our members annually for Lens, or who go to public swimming, approximately 90 annually and approximately 20 monthly. Above and beyond all these activities, we have holidays or celebrations. We have a physio clinic, CBI, that they rent privately the pool, physio clinics directly in the water, where they can move differently. They can have different therapies that cannot be done in the doctor's offices. Something that we hear of in the community. It's getting in shape, wealth, health and welfare. Serge Boilly, Ironman Mont-Tremblant, who teaches all there and does, he teaches his knowledge to triathletes. Camille Frenette from Dieppe. She's getting ready to qualify for Paralympics. And other things that I can't, there's too many to name, excellent clients who use our excellent aquatic center. For POD, something else that we've added recently with grants from Dieppe. I have pictures here. And the service counter also. Oh no, I talked about that. It was renovated so we can see it in the picture. The reception, there are 2 workstations so we can serve the client, customers. Then we see the pool pod, which is a unique piece of equipment. We're the first ones to have that's free access for people in wheelchairs to the pool without needing the help of any assistance. And then you have the picture with swimming lessons. So for the 21st of September, I think it's going to be nice weather. It's supposed to be nice. We have a public pool from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Special price for the next month, $2 per child, $10 per family. For the month of September to October, from the 21st to the 27th of October. We have different obstacle race. We have clowns. We have pizza, and there's a DJ also in the afternoon. There are activities for the family next to the pool. So that's my presentation. I just want to talk to you about the Aquatic Center, the success and all that over the last 10 years. I was lucky to be there before the opening in June 2009. That's when I got there, and then the opening was in September. So I'm there since the start, and it's really pleasant to see the whole progress and how well it is used. Are there any questions? Madame Arsenault. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations. Very good. You've had celebrities. I think that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I certainly forgot to mention some, but and you've already increased from 64 to 84 to free programming in 10 years. It's really good. That's an increase of 20 hours. That's a lot. You've increased, you've improved the aquatic center since the start. A question, do you think that maybe you think we should add something to it? Do you think it's enough of right now for our community, or should we develop other things? On the aquatics side, I think that we have enough with what we got. It's expensive for sure. There's always a dream of a second floor to have a better observation points from for the pool. So with the Uniplex now, that maybe in the future we could find something to make the aquatic center bigger. Another little thing, is there somebody who has complained of the costs? For example, $2. Are there any complaints? And if yes, is there a way to accommodate them? The cost, $2, that's a special for the month from the 21st of September to the 27th of October. That's the lowest we've ever had. We haven't had any complaints. What I have set up after a school project, it's to abolish the swimming bonnet. So for a family, it was $13 a piece, so it's $50 for a family. So for a family now it's 20. So when you charge all these pool bonnets, it's enormous. But I don't have any complaints. Obviously, in our swimming cool classes, we have great support. Jumpstart, Pro Jeunesse, My Rap also with YMCA. Great. So the other clubs help. I could add with the Family Resource Center, they rent private sessions. And every Tuesday, public pool is $2. Great. Thank you, Madame Arsenault. Anybody else? If not, thank you for your presentation, Madame Danfous. Good evening. And unless it's the end of the presentation, so thank you very much for excellent presentations, and good evening to all.